Where? Oh, here. That's awkward. Let's move here. Hey guys, in this video I will be walking you through a sketchbook tour of my recently finished sketchbook. This was started last year of July and I just finished it last month, March of 2020. Probably to start, I wanted to compare it with the Limelight Sketchbook. If you haven't seen my previous sketchbook tour, I'll link it up in the cards and down below. The Limelight Sketchbook was quite small, an A5 size, but what I liked about it and what made it perfect for my art journey at the time was that the paper was thick enough to handle watercolor, gouache, and other mediums. In 2018, I was really exploring different paint materials and styles that I wanted to go with, as well as things that I wanted to make. For example, patterns, character designs, backgrounds. But as much as I loved Limelight and would recommend to everyone, at 100 pages, it was quite a hefty sketchbook to lug around in my bag. I bought this in Daiso quite a few years ago. I eventually fell out of love because the pages are quite thin and couldn't handle the mediums that I was working with, and it was really only good for sketching ideas and concepts. This year I returned back to it and fell back in love into it because I was doing a lot of illustrative paintings as well as experimenting with more conceptual work. Key features of this sketchbook are the brown cardboard backing, the spiral bound. Some people find that irritating, but for me, I don't quite mind. Before we start, I just wanted to quickly announce that I have opened an online store where you can find all my artworks and studies on sale. Majority of my sales will be going to the KAPE group, which stands for Katulong Abutin ang Pangarap ng Edukasyon, organized by a few friends who want to help less fortunate kids by sponsoring their uniforms and or supplies. If you want to support me as an artist, you can head over to my Ko-fi page, that's ko-fi.com, where I also upload free downloadable coloring pages for you guys. Post your finished works on Instagram and tag me at Donna Makes Art so that I could post it in my stories. All the links will be down in the description, so let's get back to the video. A lot of the sketches that I did here were value sketches for my portrait paintings, which you can find up in the cards and down below. And in 2019, I consciously decided not to participate so actively in any art challenges. The only ones that I did try were Inktober and Folklore Week, with a mixture of Slowember by Lee White. An interesting challenge, I would recommend it to you guys. I didn't finish any of them, but I don't regret trying. Until now, the concepts that I thought of for Folktale Week are still being fleshed out in my head. Correction, those concepts are already finished and will be on sale in the Art in the Park online fair from August 10 to 17. So make sure to check those out if you want to buy one of these. I was quite active in social media, however, so you will be seeing a lot of doodles and sketch concepts, thumbnails that I brought into a finish in either digitally or on watercolor. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So normally I leave the front pages blank. I know it's a bad habit, but I feel very self-conscious about my sketchbook, so I don't really like people seeing anything at the front. I started this out with just this concept of a little girl with ghost cats. I saw a poster for Pet Cemetery at the time. I just had this creepy imagery for it. Drew a bunch of kids in skull animal masks. Yes, I have a morbid side. We already know that. And for this, I have not yet finalized the illustration. It's actually just me with my things flying around. Inspired by that hashtag of Meet the Artist, I wanted to put a little bit of a more illustrative twist to it, incorporating the text into the actual imagery, but until now I haven't really finished it. These are just a bunch of doodles. There will be a lot of unfinished work here. And we start with the watercolor portrait paintings. I was actually aiming for Ahmed Al-Duri's challenge of 100 heads. Unfortunately, I just didn't have that kind of tenacity to hold on to the challenge. In this page, I was fleshing out some ideas for my Inktober. I was really inspired by Jake Parker's project of this very long illustration with just characters walking around. I imagined a balloon parade, which was a very cute idea and something that I may still continue. Later on, you will see more concept sketches, and yeah, for these ones I have videos on it which you can watch. I'll link it up in the cards and down below. This I did a gouache painting of, and this one was in watercolor, as well as this. I really loved how I approached this though. I was really playing around with shapes and values for my watercolor paintings, and I decided to exclude his hands and just used it as a frame for his face to emphasize all the features that I really found intriguing in the photo. I drew some of my co-workers. There's this one guy in our office before that was really comfortable in his body. Some thumbnail sketches. This one is too small for you to see. You probably don't understand any of it. It looked like scribbles for you, but hopefully future me will be able to, you know, place the finished artworks on the sides, because I was quite proud with what we produced. A small booklet for a gospel track that we handed out in anime conventions. Some drawings of me. More drawings of me. Right, so at this point I was touring around with our sales team, and in between there were a lot of waiting periods and meetings, so boredom sketching. These were done with G-Tech, and I applied the one continuous line method that I actually taught in Skillshare, so you can check that out. I'll link it down below. You get 2 months free trial for that if you're interested, and it would really help me if you availed of it. There was this moment in the office where my coworker was using a lollipop as a microphone. Some sketches for Instagram that I never really brought to a finish. So for this sketch, I was doing a birthday illustration for me and one of my friend's babies, which I'll show the finished artwork somewhere here. And these are a bunch of just doodles and random ideas. I felt quite burnt out and needed some experimentations. These were drawn with ballpoint pens and markers. Comic gag about my mom and me. You'll probably not understand that. It's all scribbles. Ooh, and these are a bunch of concept works for my Inktober balloon parade idea that I haven't really done anything with, but hopefully one day I'll be able to bring that to a finish. Ooh, and this is quite exciting. These are sketches for a mural that I did for my friend's restaurant. It's not a restaurant, it's a drink shop, and I really loved their cranberry juice. It's very healthy, enzymes. These are sketches for Folktale Week. A lot of note-taking and ideas. I incorporated Lee White's questionnaires and also his method of doing a lot of thumbnails, which was also recommended in ELO stories. So these are not in chronological order. As you can see, these were a few sketches that I did for Inktober, and I jumped from one page to another. Again, Folktale Week, concept work, some doodles. I was talking to a friend and he was saying that it was quite rainy in his area, and I threw him some sun emojis and said, here, have some sun. So very just, it was a cute moment. Notes from SBS. I'm saving up to be able to enroll for 1 year. I am aiming for children's book illustrations. So hopefully, these are just outdoor sketches. I was trying to plein air and urban sketch, but failed miserably. More random sketches. I watched Joker and this image just popped into my head, but these are concept works for oil paintings, and I haven't had enough courage there you go, to explore oils yet. So this is gonna be in a back burner for a while and probably gonna percolate in my mind. More thumbnails for Folktale Week, and a lot of notes from Lee White's YouTube video on how to thumbnail. A few questions that you should ask in your brainstorming sessions. I mean a lot. I think this one is more on finding your style. I should have mentioned that there were a lot of commission works, sketches for commission works in this sketchbook as well. I was commissioned to do some pet illustrations in watercolor. This was a moment in my life. There are a lot of moments in my life in this sketchbook. I won a competition for, what was it? Hype Beast costumes, and I had a laugh because I did not plan my outfit. This jacket was actually borrowed from my office mate, and I just lifted up my leggings to make it like cycling shorts. Next, we have just few character designs for another pet commission. I really loved this dog, so I recommended that we make him a sticker set, and I'll probably show the finished work somewhere in the screen. I really liked how this turned out. It was actually a milestone for me to find out that I had a style, because everyone was kind of recommending that, oh, don't go very flat, very digital. They prefer that I go with my painterly style, and I said, I have a style. These are more value sketches for my watercolor portraits. This in particular I was proud of. I really took the time. It was when I was burnt out and just needed to chillax, turn off the camera and paint for myself. So these are just a few brainstorming sessions for Valentine. I had this idea of having greeting cards for every holiday to push myself to have an illustration every month. I quickly realized that forcing my brain is not healthy and not the best way to pump out quality work. This one is a very small doodle of a very unicorn cutesy girl that I saw in the mall. When I brought it into Procreate to render, it took me hours. Until now, I haven't been able to replicate it, but it's exactly the storybook style that I was aiming for. Oh. This is a booklet of some of my watercolor portrait paintings. Bunch more doodles. I had this concept and a story behind this one. I hope I'll be able to post the finished work somewhere here for you to view. Concepts for Valentine's that I never really did anything with. Well, not true. I came up with the dessert sticker set. These are just poses that I do on a regular basis. I was thinking of animating myself just to say good morning. I didn't make it as far as the animation, but I did take one of the very small thumbnail sketch and brought it to a finish in Procreate. This I made a video of explaining my watercolor watercolor process from sketching to the finished illustration. If you want to check that out, I'll link it up in the cards and down below. These were just a brain barf of ideas. I was feeling quite insecure about my weight. Everyone was telling me I was super skinny. So yeah, I ended up like this. I really loved this pose, but it felt very, very sexy. And the initial idea that I had was bird cage, but instead of a typical bird cage, it was a rib cage, inspired quite by Miriam Tilson, who is an awesome artist, but very, very painful imagery. So I'll link her down in the cards if you're curious. Just a warning that it might not be for everyone. If you're a kid, maybe don't watch it. And these are a few draw this in your style challenges that I never really finished, but I do like how this turned out. It was ra.ro81 ra.ra.ro81. I really want to bring this into a finish. So this sketch was for my mom's birthday. She was walking around in the grocery looking like a farm girl. She was just missing a hat and a basket, but she's super joyful, so I wanted to capture that emotion. So I drew a few poses of people skipping, and I went with this one, very straightforward front view, all the focus on just how happy she was. A few more commission works. Ooh, and I'm not sure what these notes are, but I had these concepts for Filipino themed things. So in foreign countries, you'd always see a kid with a lemonade stand. Here in the Philippines, you'd probably more likely see a kid on a buko stand. And it's not really a stand, it's actually a cart. So I wanted to play around with that idea. Here is just this imagery that popped into my head that says, "Let your freak flag fly," because I'm kind of considered a weirdo in my family. Right, we're almost at the end. So I applied for Art Mart in with my friend, and I wanted to make a few sticker designs. So what could be more popular than animals and coffee? So I made this concept for Cat Cafe. I made a pattern design of pouches for it. So I originally did these artworks for a sticker set, but let me know down in the comments if you want to have a sticker set for these cat cafes. What is this? What is this? What did I make? Oh yes, and these are thumbnails for watercolor entries that I made for Hello Ink. It's a children's book organization here in the Philippines. Usually at the back I have a lot of notes and sketches that I'm quite self-conscious of showing, but I really do love this concept of a spider lady. Of course, it's not going to be for my children's book illustration. It's kind of morbid. So that's it. That's for this sketchbook. It's less exciting than my Limelight one. There are really no colors except for that marker experimentation that I did inside, and more of concept works, commissions for personal projects. Despite that, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and let me know down in the comments which sketch you'd be interested to see turned into a finish, or maybe the favorite ones of the finished work that I was able to show on screen. And I guess that's it for today. Thank you for being with me, and have a happy week. Bye everyone.